What is up, internet? You might want to hold off on buying that 2022 KTM Factory Edition or the Husqvarna Rockstar Edition because they're the same bike, and apparently there are issues. We're going to talk about that right now.
This bike's great and it's got a lot of potential, but once you go racing, you kind of learn some things. So.
Before we get started, I have to give credit to Kellen Brower at Fly Racing. I believe that's the correct individual that did this interview that I'm using. I'll put a link in the description of this video so you can go watch the full video if you haven't already. But there were a couple of small pieces that I thought was really, really telling. This was a great interview with tough questions. And Kellen actually got like really good answers, really detailed, in-depth answers, which I thought was, refreshing, because a lot of times when teams and riders are having issues, they don't talk so much about it, or they give you very general descriptions or responses. So this was not that. This was really, really good. I thought this guy did an excellent interview, and it took place, I believe, at Glendale. This was on press day, so the riders are kind of like in a staging area waiting to ride the track for the first time on press day. Glendale, Arizona, round 4, I believe it was, the Triple Crown race. So let's get into it.
When you're racing a different bike every weekend, it's hard to get comfortable.
So that was, I think, a huge statement that Cooper Webb feels like he's riding a different bike every weekend, and to me that tells me they're making big changes every week. They're not just a couple clickers here and a couple clickers there, maybe adjusting the sag a few millimeters, maybe trying to run an extra pound of pressure or taking a pound of pressure out of the tires, or they're maybe they're changing triple clamps, maybe they're trying spring forks instead of air forks, or they must be doing some big changes to the motorcycle every week, because Cooper feels like, hey, this is not the same bike I rode last week or whatever, so that's huge. They're searching. They're definitely searching.
I jumped through the whoops all night at A1, so I got lucky with that.
So there you go. You heard it from the man himself talking about A1 and his second place finish at that first round of Supercross. He admits it right there. He's like jumping through the whoops all night, and then he just kind of got lucky that he was able to do that and still finish on the box.
But it's not just me, it's all of us. We've been trying to put our heads together, from the Husky side to the KTM guys, and all of us, rider-wise, kind of feel the same thing.
So if you're one of those individuals early on who was attributing Cooper Webb's poor results to, he left the baker's factory. Come on, man. That is such crap. Eli Tomac has never trained at the baker's factory. Jason Anderson, in my opinion, is riding the best Supercross riding he's ever ridden, even when he won the championship in 2018 and he left the Cooper's factory. I was about to say the Cooper's factory. Jason Anderson left the baker's factory. I think it's been a season and a half now. So it's not that he left the baker's factory. That can't be it. But the point is, he alluded to the fact that it's not just him. All of the riders, from the KTM team to the Husqvarna team, Dean Wilson, and probably most notable Mookie, they all kind of feel the same thing. They're all in agreement. The bike sucks. Well, that's not quite what he said. The bike has a lot of potential, but once you go racing, you learn things. Yeah, don't we all?
Yeah, we just get like halfway through, and then it just hangs up a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what does it, but yeah, we're not able to just kind of tap on them all the way through. So
all right, now we're at the point of the video where all the keyboard warriors are going to start typing in their comments about, well, what about Minneapolis, Minnesota? They got second and third. Well, yes, on paper they got second and third, but they were fourth and fifth. Cooper Webb got the whole shot. He led some laps. He looked good early on, but at the end of the day, he fell back to fourth. And then two guys, Chase Exton and Mookie, crashed and gifted him second place. That's the reality of the situation. And I think when you also look at that track, it had the shortest, probably I won't say it wasn't gnarly, but the whoop section was probably the easiest whoop section they've seen all year. It was shorter and smaller. And I think that all kind of translates to, it was probably the most KTM friendly track they've seen all year. And the best they could do until two guys in front of them fell down was fourth and fifth. And that was with Tomac behind him. We all saw what happened to him. If you didn't, well, check this out. But that, to me, that's not such a great positive. I'd say the only positive was Cooper Webb's start was awesome. He led some laps. But at the end of the day, 4th, 5th on what was arguably the most KTM-friendly track of the season so far, not good. I don't think their problems are over yet. I don't think they're out of the woods yet. I don't think they found the silver bullet. I think they're still going to be searching, and I think Cooper Webb's still going to feel like he's on a different bike every week. And I think when they do figure it out, it'll be obvious. It'll be obvious. He won't get a good start and fade to 4th. He'll get a good start and stay up front. Or he'll get a decent start and charge to the front, which we've seen him do that to Roczen numerous times, because Roxon's a great starter. He's fast and out front. Maybe not so much this year, but traditionally that's his MO, is get out front early, lay down the heaters, and somehow Cooper Webb, when he's comfortable, can run him down. We've seen it so many times, and that guy has not emerged yet. He basically did the opposite of what he usually does, right? He started out front and faded back. That's not Cooper Webb. That's not a comfortable Cooper Webb, especially on, like I said again, I think it was a KTM-friendly track. So we'll see what happens, guys. Until the next time, keep the rubber side down. Bye.